everybody, and happy Valentine's Day. To celebrate this, we are going to read some more really depressing lyrics from Sam Fender. I am Professor A, and I am joined as ever by Professor Dogger, who is behind me and below me, and she hasn't done anything particularly revolting today, so she's back in my good graces. On the other side of the world, we have Professor J. How are things on the other side of the world, Professor J?
Things are very good, very Valentine-y.
Excellent.
Yeah. No chord today. We're going to dive straight in. I think we've got a long one.
Have we? Oh, I wasn't expecting a long one, but okay.
No.
Here you go. Right, let's dive straight in.
Okay, well, so the next song we've chosen is Play God, I believe.
It is, which is his debut single, and we've got it at the start of episode 2, which is really quite clever.
So this was released in March 2017. Whilst the music video was released in January 2019.
All right.
Well, let's listen. Let's do some lyrics, then we'll come back into some chat.
Excellent.
About that. You were cracking all your fingers with your eyes fixed to the floor. Sound that echoed down the street. By the monument you hear. Pilots screaming through a megaphone. Get your hands off the Middle East. Every word would hurt the cynical. Every word would cut your teeth.
I've got man is screaming through a megaphone. I don't know where pilot came from.
Oh.
Yes. So, what's the monument? The most important part of this.
I don't know.
Apparently, it's Gray's Monument in the heart of Newcastle.
Right.
As well as being a popular landmark, it's the site locally known for marches and protests, busking and preaching. So it's basically a speaker's corner kind of deal in the centre of Newcastle.
Okay, so people are... So who's cracking their fingers? Who's the you in this?
I don't know who the you is in this. It's another one which is strangely worded. Part of it's his thoughts. Later on it says, am I mistaken? Or are we breaking? But this you, who knows? Maybe it's just the person he's narrating to, the listener. I don't know. Whoever they are, they've heard the sound echoing down the street of a man or a pilot screaming through a megaphone, saying, "Get your hands off the Middle East."
Off the Middle East, yes. I mean, maybe we should have done the next line, which is, "And he will play God."
Yes, the refrain, apparently. You're a technical music kind of chap. What's the difference between a refrain and a chorus?
Well, they're spelled differently.
Yes.
No idea. There's also sometimes a pre-chorus as well.
Yes.
Darkness a bit big on pre-choruses.
Pre-chorus refrain, pre-refrain chorus.
All that jazz.
Pre-pudding. Yes. So, I believe this is meant to be a reference to a real protest conducted in 2015, 2014, before that time he wrote it, obviously, of a left-wing political group campaigning against drone strikes in Syria and Iraq at the time. Every word would hurt the cynical. Every word would cut your teeth. Word and herd rhymes, I'll give him that.
Yep. Your teeth doesn't sound very nice.
Yeah, it doesn't. When you're cutting your teeth on something is when you're getting to know about it, isn't it?
You're sharpening your teeth, aren't you? You're learning your trade.
Yes, that's the one.
Yeah. Okay.
So who is he? And he will play God.
Well, I honestly don't know.
Yeah, I think it's just a political leader. In this case, presumably the leader of the UK at the time, who was probably a woman. Was it Theresa May at that time, or was it Cameron?
When was it written? You said 2015.
2015.
Cameron, right?
Yeah, probably just still him. Yeah, so it was probably him.
2016 was the Brexit vote, right?
Sure. Yeah.
So it would have been Cameron.
Yeah. Right. But it could be any. He's expressed many times that he dislikes all politicians pretty much.
And who can blame him, eh?
Yeah. Well, having said that, I sent a video link on YouTube to Professor J yesterday of a concert Sam Fender played in the end of last year in Europe somewhere. And although he's said recently that he's not going to bother himself with trying to make political points anymore because there's no point, as mentioned in one of his songs called I, but in this one he did manage a resounding refrain of F the Tories.
So I didn't get that far in the video.
He's still on the right track in my personal opinion.
So, but this was in Germany or Belgium?
Right? One or the other.
Yes. Do they want to F the Tories as well?
Well, Belgium actually went many years without a parliament, didn't it?
Well, they have perennial, what's the word? Multi-party governments, right?
If you say so. I don't know.
It's coalitions.
Coalitions,
yes, that's the word, yeah. Okay, so there's some sort of political person who doesn't like, there's a protest, and presumably the politician is playing God.
Yes.
Okay, so
what's playing God mean? It basically means you're making decisions which affect everything and affect the lives of those under you. You're deciding whether people live or die, basically.
Absolutely. Okay, so more words. It's all the same down in the capital, all the suits in cladded feet. Sewer rats will shower the underground in a race to make ends meet, and he will play God.
Well, I've got all the suits and clattered feet, but
clattered feet.
But he's talking about the rat race, hence sewer rats, the economical rat race. We're all just racing to get ahead, except you're not getting ahead, you're making your boss richer.
Yes.
And as he says, in a race to make ends meet, so it's not like people are feathering their own nests and making themselves richer and richer, they're struggling to stay alive.
Yeah. Indeed. I'm going to go for some more lyrics. Am I mistaken, or are we breaking underweight from the long time that he played God? So he really doesn't like it, does he?
No. Yeah, I mean, if he is, presumably he's talking about those countries, that's what he's for. Yeah. As I believe we're the fifth or sixth largest economy in the world, and yet thousands and thousands of people have to use food bags to survive. It's just ridiculous, it really is.
And more so now than when this was written or released, or even the video was done. It's probably a lot more.
Yes.
It's not getting any better. Yes, and someone's playing God. Okay, and then the next bit goes, no matter who you are or where you've been, he is watching from the screen, keeps a keen eye on the in-between, from the people to the queen. This, for me, feels very 1984.
Oh, it's a direct reference to George Orwell's novel 1984.
Yeah.
Where Big Brother watches you from a TV screen. And of course, it gave rise to the title of the popular reality show, which recently returned in Great Britain last year. He's saying, keeps a keen eye on the in-between from the people to the queen. So he's saying even if you're the monarch, obviously the queen was still alive then, you're still going to be surveilled. Whether that's true or not, I mean, obviously they're going to be under a lot of security scrutiny for their own safety, the royalty, but I doubt they have CCTV cameras in every room or whatever. But it has been often said that the UK is the most surveilled country in the world, more than any of the communist bloc countries and any of that. So that's nice.
Yeah, there is. It's quite shocking to other countries when you watch Celebrity Hunted to see how many TV cameras there are everywhere, and you can't move without facial recognition if that's turned on. Yeah,
and I don't know. I'd say it seems to be the only thing that police use to catch people these days. They don't do any good old-fashioned coppering. They just say, "Oh yeah, get the cameras up. We'll go and nick them."
Right.
Whatever. Which kind of makes for rubbish police dramas these days. It's no Inspector Morse anymore.
That is more or less all the words.
It is, yeah.
It's fairly concise. Now, the video. What do you think about the video?
I don't remember ever seeing the video. I'm sorry.
Oh, wow, that's
A shocking dereliction of duty.
it is, because I think that's quite interesting, because it's it's sort of not really children, sort of teenagers, sort of play fighting with guns and things like that. Very cinematographically. Have you say that?
Cinematographically.
Thank you. Bless you. Yeah, and then at the end of that video, they kind of sort of peel their faces off and take hats off, and there's kind of an exit scene where you sort of pull back to receive the cameras, and you realize it was all just acting. So it's very different from a lot of his other videos, like the ones we're going to talk about later, which are very much him living a normal teenage life in the north of England. This one is it is a bit, when they're talking about playing God, they're sort of playing army like kids do, with fake guns and things like that. In fact, when describing the music video, Sam Fender told the enemy that Play God is set in an alternate dystopian reality that shares similarities with our own world. And the director of the video, Vincent Haycock, Snigger, described the video as a satirical interpretation of power. And do you know what TV show it's from?
Play God?
Yeah.
No, I don't.
The song was used in the trailer for the 2021 Netflix superhero series Jupiter's Legacy.
Oh, that one. I've heard of it.
Neither. I mean, I've not seen it or heard of the thing. It's if you would like the premise for Jupiter's Legacy. Shortly after his father's suicide in 1929, triggered by Black Thursday, so again, sort of financial, political, former businessman Sheldon Sampson travels to an uncharted island in the Atlantic Ocean where he, his brother Walter, and 4 others receive superpowers. He then creates a superhero team called the Union of Justice, and his guiding ideals, never kill anyone, never interfere in political matters, remain unchanged over the near century of his adventures as the Utopian. However, the next generation of superheroes, including his children, struggles to live up to his rigid ideals and high expectations. And when Sheldon's son Brandon seemingly kills one of their greatest foes, it ignites a public debate over whether those ideals are still relevant. I think it marries quite well with the meaning of the song, and it's a banging tune. Really like, and it really it's driving. It's really good. And it goes. Just watching the trailer of this is well worth it. Very good. Really
good. And a couple of quotes from Sam Fender, if you like.
Yes, please.
I don't have written down which publication this came from, I'm sorry, but he said, pretty much every prime minister since I can remember has made me mad. The negative effects of greedy politicians have haunted the Northeast for years. It's very apparent. I'm not an expert on politics, but there's a bunch of bad people at the top who care about lining their own pockets before creating a society that looks after the vulnerable, which is very true. And then when he, in an interview with The Last magazine, whatever that might be, he said, I think at the time there was just a lot going on. There were loads of protests in the street in Newcastle for not bombing Syria, and there was all this stuff that was coming out with the phone tapping. It was just a very Orwellian time. Phone tapping references to several newspapers, journalists from several newspapers tapping phones of celebrities in order to get exclusives, completely illegally. Massive scandal here.
Would you like to know where this song got to in the UK singles charts?
Well, I actually do know, so I won't guess and spoil.
Well, so let's see if we're aligned. What do you think it did?
89.
Yeah, okay, we are aligned. I mean, that's crazy because it was sort of figured platinum or something like that. So it sold well, but it just didn't chart. I mean, I guess that's indicative of the world we're in now, right?
Yeah, I think it also indicates that it sold over a longer time without any high peaks. Maybe.
Yeah, and especially if it's been in a TV show as well, that will
Sure.
probably
Yeah.
engender new listeners. I mean, it's a banging tune. I like the words. It's this hook of playing God. It's nice. It really brings something. And then in terms of the personalization and the meaning of the lyrics, it's specific but vague. You did, he did. It's
Yes.
very directed in the way that it's written. So I think it's pretty good.
Yeah. Also, I think I've got another quote. Yeah. Again, sorry, another quote. Just a quick one. I just entered my 20s. I was anxious about the future of the world and its leaders, and it didn't help. I just read George Orwell's 1984 at the time. As you can imagine, I was pretty paranoid. I don't think you're paranoid if you're correct about your worries.
Well, as somebody once said, just because you're paranoid doesn't mean they're not out to get you.
Indeed. That's quoted by Kurt Cobain in one of the Nirvana songs.
But what was that quoted from?
I can't remember.
I thought it was a Nirvana. So.
No, I'm pretty sure it was around.
Okay.
Before.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think it's kind of it's like a typical Sam Fender, but it's a bit more out there.
Yeah, and the music's slightly different as well. I think a lot of his songs do sound vaguely similar, especially the ones with saxophones in them. This one's more different. If only we could play clips, eh?
Yeah. Go and have a look. Hey, I've got nothing more to say on this one. How about you?
No, me either. And that concludes business from his first album, Hypersonic Missiles.
Oh, I've got one more thing to say.
Oh.
Sting me.
Oh.
It is time for Professor J's word count.
You want to take a guess?
Again, I haven't pasted repeats. 200, 100.
Pretty good. 225 with 86 unique. Quite surprised how high it was, actually, because it doesn't feel like there's a lot of words. It feels like there's a lot of repetition.
I do know he does tend to say a lot per line. Not necessarily just in this song, but he does seem to cram a lot of songs into a line of lyrics, a lot of words into a line of lyrics.
Well, it's because it's very, like we said for the previous episodes, very autobiographical, his stuff. It really feels like it comes from a very personal telling of a story, right?
Yeah.
We just cram a lot in. All right, let's move on. Now, is this his biggest tune this month? So next we're doing 17 Going Under.
It's his biggest hit single, certainly.
Yeah.
Yes, I'd say it's his biggest tune. That's from the concerts I've seen online. Obviously, I don't go to concerts. He tends to finish with this, then Hypersonic Missiles. That's the big encore. Okay. And yeah, I think it's the one which got him played a lot more on TV, and this is another one that an instrumental version of is used in a lot of BBC programming. After sort of Match of the Days, gold compilations and things will have an instrumental version of this going on sometimes.
Oh, really? It's no longer Beautiful Day or something by the Lightning Seeds. Last time I watched it.
Life of Riley.
Life of Riley, yeah.
Yeah.
Obviously, I've not watched it for 20 years. So.
No, well, it tends to be different things, but this one comes up quite frequently. We should do Lightning Seeds sometime. A good band. Yeah. So, yes, 17 Going Under, title track and opening track of his second album.
Released on 8th of October 2021. Okay, let's grab some words. I remember the sickness was forever. I remember snuff videos, cold Septembers, the distance we covered, the fist fights on the beach, the busies round us up. We're going to need to...
well, I think you need to do the next line as well, and that's when you can stop.
The next 4 lines or the next
No,
line?
the next one line. Do it all again next week.
An embryonic love. Have I done that? Have I got this?
Stop off to do it all again next week.
Oh, well, that's not the way it was written for me. So do it all again
It
next
is.
week. Period.
Yes.
Okay.
You do the fist fights and the being rounded up by the busies all again next week. Anyway, I remember the sickness was forever. What's this?
Don't know.
This, I believe, is about his mother Shirley being diagnosed with fibromyalgia,
Okay.
and being unable to work from that point onwards, which is
Right.
pivotal in the lyrics of the song and
The rest
several
of
other
the song,
songs,
right?
several
Yeah.
other songs on the album.
Yeah, absolutely.
Snuff videos, not very nice. I don't know why that line's there. Obviously, it goes with sickness of a different kind.
Yeah, I mean, so do we need to define what a snuff video is?
We'll probably get censored by YouTube if we do.
I don't think we will. I think it just, I think that's so it shows or purports to show actual deaths. And when I was growing up, there was a lot of stuff like that around of snuff videos and that sort of thing that people would
Well, according
share.
to the police, they don't actually exist. There is no such thing as a snuff video.
Exactly, they're purported to show.
I would think that with the sickness endemic to the human population, I'm pretty sure there are, but I certainly would never have wanted to see one. I don't know why there was such a big buzz about people wanting to
No, I don't
see such things at the time. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yes, good. Apparently, it was still going on when he was a youth as well.
Yeah, imagine that. And the busies. What's the busies?
The busies who round you up when you have a fist fight on the beach are the police. One of the many disparaging terms for the police in this country. We could go through a list of them.
Do you know why they're called the busies?
Because they're involving themselves in everyone else's business all the time, I'd have thought.
Well, they're busybodies.
Busybodies.
And this is a Liverpudlian expression originally.
Right.
I always think of Brookside when I hear,
Okay.
hey, the busies.
Yes. So yeah, that was apparently their weekend entertainment. They'd go out for a fist fight on the beach and get rounded up by the police.
Yep, and they'll do it all again next week.
Yep.
That's.
And of course, we should say, growing up in North Shields, North Shields is on the coast, and beaches were part of his childhood. So that's where you go to have your fights.
Yeah, sure. Okay. I'm going to read some more words. I may have got my structure completely wrong, so you stop me.
We'll start with an embryonic love. You'll be all right.
Yep. An embryonic love, the first time that it's scarred. Embarrass yourself for someone, crying like a child.
Yeah, he's talking about the first time one falls in love and how absolutely devastating it is when it ends.
Yeah.
Your heart broken.
Yeah.
He did have a quote about that.
I mean, I'm pretty disappointed that he's used the word crying like a child when he squeezes in every other bit of regional dialect, and he could have put crying like a bairn.
A bairn, yes. Or
would have been
something else, a greeting like a bairn it would be, wouldn't it?
Yes.
Yes. So yeah, I can't find the quote offhand, but I think he said that, you know, when he first had his heart broken, he didn't understand how people were meant to carry on walking around and weren't hospitalised, or something like that. So yeah, this is obviously said out autobiographical, and he's sort of picking at different things from his life.
Yeah. Okay, so the next thing he picks, and the boy who kicked Tom's head in still bugs me now. That's the thing, it lingers and claws you when you're down.
Stop. I know it does carry on, but that's the end of the first verse. Yeah, this is confirmed to be about one of his best friends called Tom Curtis, who was beaten up by a bigger boy, I believe, and seriously injured.
Okay.
And he's saying that even though it was years ago, that's still bothering him.
Yeah.
It lingers and claws you when you're down. Sounds like a black dog or something.
Absolutely. That we've spoken about last episode.
Yes. My musical dog is being useless today, I'm afraid. She's not. She had so much to say about Sam Fender last episode. Nothing at all today. She's obviously a fan of the early stuff, doesn't like the second half.
Okay. More words. I was far too scared to hit him, but I would hit him in a heartbeat now. That's the thing with anger. It begs to stick around.
Yeah, carry on.
So it can fleece you of your beauty and leave you spent with nothing to offer. Makes you hurt the ones who love you. You hurt them like they're nothing.
Yep, that's good. Although, to be honest, he does do a northernism then. It's leaves you spent with nought to offer. Nothing to offer. You've obviously had yours converted into BBC English or something.
The Googles have been working overdrive.
In the live versions of 17 Going Under, this I was far too scared to hit him, but I would hit him in a heartbeat. Now he's always yelled by the entire crowd.
Yeah.
That's the big line for them. Yeah, he's saying when he was however old he was at the time, this incident with his friend Tom happened. He was too scared to join in and protect his friend, but he'd do it in a heartbeat now. You grow up, you either get more scared or you lose your fears, and sometimes that applies to different things. You can be more scared of some things and less scared of others. Until you get as old as me and you just dribble in the corner thinking you invented the banana, basically. So,
did you?
I think so, yeah. I'm pretty sure I did.
Good invention.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah. But again, it's something that you can really, it's very tangible, isn't it?
Yes.
What he's on about. It's, I'm sure everybody's got a situation like that. School ground fights, wishing you'd done something and not doing something. That's covers pretty much everything in life, right?
Yeah. Showing off my cluttered keyboard. Right.
Okay, more words.
No. We've only done the first two lines. That's the thing with anger, it begs to stick around. It's how hard it is to get rid of anger, resentment. So anger sort of, let's say if you're angry all the time, it fleeces you of your beauty, you lose all your good parts. You've got nothing left to offer. Rage is tiring. Fury is tiring. I'm still very angry at certain people. I'd like to be able to get rid of it, but I can't because it's scum of the earth, basically. And of course, when you're angry all the time, you're going to hurt the ones around you, whether they're the object of your anger or not. Something about these lines. Apparently, in the beginning of November 2021, there was a TikTok trend. TikTok being something that everyone knows more about than I do. And there was a trend about people talking about themselves being abused by their own fathers, and someone posted these lyrics, and they went viral.
Right.
So. Yeah, that's it's sad but true. Anger it's sustaining, but it is exhausting.
So the next line, so it can fleece you of your beauty, leave you spent with nothing to offer, makes you hurt the ones who love you, you hurt them like they're nothing.
Yeah, anger can make you lash out at people who aren't the object of your anger.
Yeah.
Yeah, so then we get some of the oohs that he loves so much.
Oohs, you hurt them like they're nothing, bit of that.
Big crowd sing along bit.
Yeah. Okay, right, next lines. See, I spent my teens in rage, spiraling in silence, and I armed myself with a grin, as I was always the effing joker. Buried in their humour amongst the white noise and boys, locker room talking lads. hang on, drenched in cheap drink and snide fags. I believe that's where it stops, right?
Sure. Yeah.
So he's talking more about his well, not his childhood, but his sort of
Teens.
teenage years, right?
Being a
Snide.
youth.
That's another good word, isn't it?
Oh,
Snide.
yes, no,
What do you know about snide?
It basically means black market, doesn't it? Not tax not paid upon.
Yes.
Or stolen, I suppose, as well.
It originates in 1859. It's a thieves' slang for counterfeit, sham, bad, or spurious. It is a dialective adjective meaning sharp and cutting, used of the wind from the Middle English verb snithen, to cut, which is cognate with the German schneiden.
Gosh, cognate. That's good to know. Yes. Anyway. So
yeah. So like we said, he's intimated that his rage is making him depressed, and he's just arming himself with a grin. I think that's a nice.
Yes, he hides his anger and distress behind comedy and humour.
Yeah.
And he's sort of obviously formed a group of lads, boys, that he does things, presumably doing some kind of sport, as he says, locker room talking.
Yeah.
And he hangs out with these boys, having fistfights on the beach and getting round up on the busies, and they drink cheap alcohol and smoke snide fags. Fags, of course, in this country being cigarettes, just for the benefit of some other countries.
Yes.
So that's how he spent his teens.
Yeah. Pretty common for a lot of
the
United Kingdom, I'd say. Okay, more words. A mirrored picture of my old man. Oh God, the kid's a dab hand. Can he chanter? I thought I had can he banter. He looks sad. God, the kid looks so sad.
Yeah, some more lovely Northern dialect, yeah.
Well, but mirrored picture, does that mean I interpret that as it's a picture of his dad, but he looks just like him?
Yeah, I mean, in one of the other songs we're going to do later, he addresses how much he resembles his dad when he looks in the mirror. And I can relate to that. The reason why I clip my beard occasionally and shave it off entirely is because I get to a point with the beard when I look in the mirror and I see my father, and I don't want to be reminded of my father. So.
Yes. So a dab hand, what does that mean?
I don't know if this is another Geordieism or if it's more general, but it's being very good at something.
Yeah, so someone who is highly skilled or an expert in a specific activity, typically used for people who excel in their fields, such as athletes, artists, or professionals. It's a 19th century British term. Before the dab hand came into existence, experts were sometimes referred to as dabs, which in the 1698 to 99 dictionary of the Canting Crew meant an exquisite expert. And dab is actually, originally it meant to give someone a sharp blow, but it may be derived from the word adept.
Yes. Yeah.
So a dab hand at what? What's he good at? The kid's a dab hand.
Music, I mean, as we mentioned before, his dad was also a musician, and
He says canny chanter, so we need to define canny.
Canny is good or clever or quick-witted. In this case, it's good, and a chanter is a singer.
No, it's not. So canny is know-how. It's how to do something. It's somebody who can do something. So you're good at it.
So it's good. He's a good singer, as I said.
Yeah. Okay. It's knowing wise. But it's a 1630s expression from 1630s Scottish expression from can.
One that can.
In the glossary to Scott's Heart of Midlothian in 1818, uncanny is defined as dangerous, while canny is defined as skillful, prudent, or lucky. In a superstitious sense, good conditioned and safe to deal with, trustworthy, quiet. Canny moment is an opportune or happy time. Yeah, so he's a good singer.
Pretty much, yeah. Yeah, I think we need to go back to the last set of lyrics. Something we missed was the white noise, as well as the boys talk. White noise, as I believe we discussed in our One That Got Away episode, Sisters of Mercy lyrics, is a sound containing many frequencies with equal intensities, often accompanied by TV static, which is meant to help people sleep or whatever. But it's generally used in the phraseology for sort of just background noise that you're not tuned into, I think.
Yeah.
But also apparently in the case of this song, what he meant by white noise was young white men making racist jokes.
Yeah.
And he's tuning them out. So
Right.
He has another song from the first album called White Privilege, which he mentions these racist jokes in as well. Now he doesn't agree with it in the slightest, which is quite right. In the Tribune magazine, a Newcastle University lecturer called Alex Niven called this lyric a bleak commentary on something like proverbial toxic masculinity, which, as we know, he is very much against, as only right and proper. So yeah, so I missed that on the way through, but yes. So
yeah, good call. Right, so let's finish it off now. He said, the debt, the debt, the debt. So I thought about shifting gear and how she wept and wept and wept. Luck came and died round here. I see my mother, the DWP, see a number. She cries on the floor encumbered. I'm 17, going under. Woo, woo, woo.
Yeah.
So back to his mother. So she's in a lot of debt. She owes money.
Well, the point is she can't work anymore. So I don't know if she owes money beforehand. It's just she can't keep up with the general cost of living anymore without being able to work.
And then he thought about shifting gear. So shifting gear is dealing and selling stuff on, presumably, or selling
drugs. Gear is drugs. But
sure.
I think that's a great line because it's that which is the hidden meaning, but it's also about shifting gear, just making a change. You shift in a car, it moves to a different speed.
Very good. Yes, I hadn't picked up on that.
Yeah. His mum wept and wept and wept. Well, she would. Luck came and died round here. Basically, that's a Geordie saying for there is no luck.
Yeah.
She cries on the floor, encumbered.
Hang on, before that, so
yes,
I see my mother, DWP. So the DWP is a
Department of Work and Pensions, and I really shouldn't go into too much detail about this because I do receive payments for my PTSD from them.
Yeah. I mean, also
you do that.
well, it's the people who organise payments. It's also interesting because it also covers child support. So if he was 17, and his father was no longer there, then maybe they were receiving child support.
I don't think so because I think it was 16 at that point. Because you could leave education, and now you have to be in full-time education to 18. I think he would have been receiving payments, but I think when he was that age, he was 16. Still. Okay. But yeah, she apparently. His mother was, well, he sees her as a person that knows all the things she's going through. The DWP sees her as a number on a computer screen because she's just a case number. I think it wasn't just that they weren't giving the right amount of support, they were accusing her of cheating on benefits. Benefit fraud and dragging her through the courts. When she'd worked all her life as I think she was a nurse, was she? Something like that. Yeah, she worked for 40 years as a nurse, and never claimed a thing. Then received a very nasty diagnosis and was very ill, and was accused of gaming the system, which happens a lot. That's as far as I'm going to go. So, and you want a quote about this? So these are not my words; these are the words of Sam Fender.
Yep,
It's completely autobiographical. When I was 17, my mother was being hounded by the DWP. She had fibromyalgia and she was suffering from other ailments and mental health issues, but she got sent to court 3 times to prove that she wasn't fit to work. This is a woman who's worked for 40 years of her life as a nurse. She's not a liar and she's not a benefit cheat. She was a hard-working, fantastic, empathetic, incredible woman, and they dragged her through the mud and made her ill. I saw how the government was treating good, honest, working-class people who were fallen on their back. They ripped apart every safety net for people in that position. I was old enough to understand what was going on, but I wasn't old enough to be able to do anything about it. And it's not a unique story by any means.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I've got some other quotes from other journalists, but
sure.
I think that's better than anything I was going to say. I was going to say that somebody said that let's talk more about the album. The album explores Fender's upbringing, how it has impacted who he is today, exploring both his outward nihilism as well as internal self-examination. I mean, this was a mega banger. You know, it was nominated for all the prizes. Best indie rock album, best album. I mean, this is the album, not the song, of course. The one that I thought was best, summing it up for me, was the Guardian's Alexis Petridis. He said he called it urgent, incisive, and brave. When it would have been easier for Fender to deck out his festival-ready tick-tockable melodies with something notably blander and less pointed. I thought it really powerful. And I think that, I mean, the urgency in the way that it's written, I think is, you know, it's really, really profound.
Does it remind you of any other songs that we may have discussed in the past?
No.
It reminds me very much of Fisherman's Blues by the Waterboys, musically.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Not the lyrics, obviously, it's completely different music.
Yeah. Some more praise. Ewan Gledo called it an intense and passionate showcase of emotions that provided an understanding of growing up and out of past behaviors. And then the Tribune magazine, Alex Niven wrote, if there is a better, more painful, more condensed summary of the callousness of British neoliberalism in the times we have all recently lived through, I am not aware of it.
I'm not sure about it being liberal, the government's policies.
Yeah, I mean, it's good. It's again really autobiographical.
What do you think about the video?
Is this the one where they sort of keep pausing? Or is that getting...
So this is the one where for no reason whatsoever he starts flying above the houses. He's also wearing a particularly strange pair of trousers.
So remember this one, there is a punch up on the beach.
Yes.
But it's with girls, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Don't remember the strange pair of trousers.
It's sort of halfway up his knees and flapping around. Halfway up his calves, flapping around, real ankle bang fashions. No, it's probably fashion, I don't know.
Yeah.
And then suddenly you start getting, the camera rises above the rooftops and you start getting strange views. It's quite strange. I mean, like a lot of his videos, it seems to reference the points, but in a different way to how they're referenced on the song. As you say, the punch up is with girls and that kind of thing.
Yeah. Good, another classic autobiographical banger from SF.
Yes.
Sting Me. Oops.
It is time for Professor J's word count.
What's your guess?
Well, it's quite a lot, I think. Let's go 300, 135.
You're getting good at this. It's 298 with 161 unique words.
Oh, right.
It's a lot. It's a lot of words.
But it is a very good song, so Ben Folds
Yeah.
isn't always right.
What? Unacceptable. Unacceptable.
Ben
Actually, I'd
Folds.
really like. We should really do some Ben Folds to see if he does do 45 to 55 words.
I only know one of his original songs and one of his covers. I don't know if he's worth the full podcast, is he? I don't know.
Ooh. Yes, he is. Well,
Professor
right.
Douglas,
Should we get into the last one for today?
Yes, let's do that.
Okay, so we have chosen Getting Started.
Which is track number 2 on the album.
Okay, words. 18, failed dream attached to a bad scene. Think I'll make a couple errands. Cataclysmic age to be when you're out of luck and your mother's in need.
Oh, it's obviously carrying on straight on from the last one. The first one's 17
It's
going
a year
up.
older, right?
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Things are still crap.
Don't know exactly what his dream was that he wanted to achieve by the time he was 18, but there presumably was one. I don't know. I haven't found any reference to that.
Wow.
Attracted to a bad scene, I've got, not attached. So he's.
I've also got attracted. It's just my reading then.
So he's and this is again referring back to the last one. I thought about shifting gear.
Yeah.
Think I'll make a couple errands. Well, that's selling drugs, isn't it, basically?
I mean, it's a great opening line. It really sets the scene, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
18, failed dream, bad scene, others in. I mean, it's a brilliant opening.
Yeah, a track internal rhyme as well.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah. Oh, golden.
Yeah.
Right, more words.
No, cataclysmic.
Oh.
A cataclysm is a sort of world-ending event or violent change. So he's describing about how becoming 18 is bringing a sudden shift in his life. And I think when you're out of luck and your mother's in need, well, obviously we know his mother's problem. She can't provide for the family anymore. So now I think he's saying he's going to have to when he's turned 18. Yep. Okay, now you can have some more words.
Thank you. I made my money for the crooks and pushers in the hopes that I claw something together for tonight. Going out. I can't help do the accent. I'm going out. Oh, tonight I'm going out.
Yeah. Well, it sounds from these lines that he's more than attracted to the bad scene. Sounds like he's working for them. He made his money for the crooks and pushers. And he's doing it because he hopes to, as well as support his mother, be able to afford to go out.
Not very good at accents, are we?
Oh, I'm certainly not. Yours was all right.
Mine was Ulrich, I think.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
So,
He's got a song called All Read.
see?
Yeah, it's on the first album. Well, it's actually called All Right, obviously. But yeah.
Oh yeah, so he's trying to get some money to go because his life is so crap that he just wants to go out and have a good time. He needs money.
Yep.
Unfortunately, it's through nefarious mechanisms that he's getting that money.
Indeed.
Okay, right, more words. I'm only getting started. Don't mean to be disheartened. Felt like giving up so many times before, but I'm still here grinding.
Yep.
Yep. More
Oh, yeah, he says that twice. I was waiting for the rest of it. It's the same thing, isn't it? Yes. Yeah, so he's just getting started with his having turned 18, working career, and the responsibilities of being classed as an adult, I guess.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean to be disheartened. He doesn't want to moan, but he's disheartened and is moaning. He felt like giving up so many times, but he hasn't, and he's still there grinding away.
He is the grinder man.
Yes, indeed.
Wasn't he a rapper? That was before Grinder as we now know it.
Grinder Man was Nick Cave's guitar band we did palaces of Montezuma by them.
Ah, there we go.
And
There we
that was... No, we won't go into the name.
Okay. More words. I came home and you were on the floor, floored by the letters and the counsel of the rigmarole. What I wouldn't do to get you out this hole, but tonight I gotta let go. Tonight you gotta let me go.
Yeah. Again, I presume this is referring to his mother. He came home and she's having a particularly bad day, or...
Yeah.
Don't think she's dead. I think so. Don't know. But and he's suggesting that the reason she's given up and is on the floor or whatever is because of letters she's received, presumably from the DWP and the council, which would be probably relating to the payment of council tax, which, if you're on certain benefits, you don't have to do. And presumably she was still having to pay it because of the DWP not accepting her position. So rigmarole. What's a rigmarole?
I don't know officially, but it's like a very complicated process, a complicated system.
Yeah, officially it's a long set of actions or words without any real purpose, or a long, complicated or silly process.
Okay.
Which pretty much sums up councils, no matter which political party, it's all red tape.
Or whichever country as well, I will say.
Well, I don't know if all countries have councils at that level, but yes. Council being a local governmental oversight board. He's saying he'd do anything to get her out of this situation. Hence working for the crooks and pushers. But tonight she's got to let him go. God, that was even worse. So
Welsh.
It's more Nebraskan, but so
Carmarthenshire via Nebraska.
Yes, quite. So he needs to go out. He just got to go. That, unfortunately, is pretty much it for the exercise, I would say.
Yeah, that's all just repetition, right?
Yeah, but I like this is.
Yeah, I like it too. I think all these.
I like the open chord strumming through the chorus.
Yeah.
Getting started, glum, 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 rather than constant riffage, just occasional.
Yeah. We'll go into his natural tuning in the next episode, I think.
Yes, you threatened that last time.
Yes. Have you seen the video for this one?
Didn't know there was a video for this one.
Yeah, there is, and it's a shame because I wanted to ask you some questions about it.
You can. I can guess the answers.
So it is kind of like, again, it's very Sam Fender. He's sort of in a presumably North Shields sort of area, walking down the street, and then he's going out, but he sort of meets up with his friends, and then they sort of pause. They sort of go. There's all this kind of freezing. I didn't quite understand what the intention was behind that.
No. Perhaps he's selling some bad drugs. Yeah.
I mean, actually, that's interesting you say that, because, they do talk about, the time that this was happening was the time when spice was rampant, which is the zombie drug, which tends to make people sort of catatonic.
And he has a song called Spice.
Does he? Okay.
Which is on that video, I think. Yeah, he has these two songs, which I don't know if they were B-sides or whatever, but he always sort of plays them live. He says, "Oh, this is the punk bit." One of them's Spice, the other's called Howdy Howden Death Queue, which is about going shopping during the pandemic. They're both really good, but I think they're either B-sides or bonus tracks somewhere. They're not on the actual albums proper, so they're worth looking out.
Okay.
So it could be also, of course, with them freezing steady, could it be a reference back to Dead Boys, suggesting that they're going out and now they're dead?
Yeah.
So,
interesting.
Videos that refer back to each other could ask some complex stuff.
Yeah, it's deep. Deep, man.
It's meta, man.
Yeah. Do you know how many words?
Hold on.
It is time for Professor J's word count.
Professor Dogger is fascinated now by the, by the word count. I'm not going to ask you this time. So although there's a lot of repetition in this song, I mean, there's still a good number of words. There's 86 unique out of 265 in total, but there is a lot of repetition of this sort of chorusy bit. You're grinding, getting started, all that jazz. So yeah, I mean, it's another banger. I really like it. And again, very autobiographical. It's good. It's really good. And
that whole album's good.
Great music. Yeah.
Yeah. It's about due for another one, I'd have thought.
Yeah.
3 years ago.
Do you want my mini quiz?
Oh, I didn't know you had a mini quiz today. Let's do it.
Yes, a mini quiz. Not a very good quiz, but I hope you'll get some pleasure from it. I have a list of Geordie put-downs.
Cracking. Right, I'm wondering why I'm in the corner of my screen all of a sudden. There we go.
I'm going to give you the name, and you have to indicate to me what you think the term is.
Okay.
So the first one is chava.
Is that like a chav?
It is the Geordie word for chav. Here is an example usage. How man have a deek at them chavas ganin raji our there.
Do you think we should say what a chav is for our international listeners?
Please do.
I don't really know. They're these sort of young people who hang around in sportswear and say bear this and bear that, whatever that means. And they're not very nice, really.
What's the etymology of it? I thought at one time people were trying to say it's an acronym.
I know.
Council, House and Violent.
Oh, right. The Scottish version is Ned, which means non-educated delinquent, I think.
Yeah. I think delinquent is a safe way for us to describe it. So let's go for that. Okay. The next one is worky ticket.
Is that money you're paid for work?
No, this is a phrase used to describe someone causing trouble, sometimes in a mischievous way, sometimes in an aggressive way. It's also used to describe a person who is pushing their luck or trying to pull a fast one. Would you like to hear a usage?
Oh, yes, please.
He's a reet worky ticket. It's a well-known Geordie put-down.
I'm sure that's really a usage. Just a couple of words. That's right, Professor Dogger. Yeah.
Professor Dogger likes that one. And the next one is nebby.
Nosy, isn't it? That's like sticking your nose into other people's business.
It does.
Yeah.
It when a person is being overly inquisitive into someone else's business.
Yes.
Over time, there seems to have been a change in the principal meaning of the word, with a shift from nose to sticking your nose into someone else's business. Makes no sense. Would you like to hear a usage?
Oh, yes, please.
Diwin be so nebby.
Oh dear. We've lost all our northern listeners with this episode.
Yes, I'm sorry. No, this really is. It's really coming from love. It's really not. We're not taking the pee. It's from a lot of love. The next word is doilem. Doilem.
I think it was delinquent again. I don't know.
This term is used to brand someone of an idiot or a fool. Somebody who is generally challenged in the common sense department. Would you like to hear a usage?
Yes.
That Gadgie is a proper doilem man.
I thought Gadge was Scottish. Gadge and Raj.
Right,
it's not far away.
Share a border.
Yeah.
Okay. The next one is it's a phrase. So it's Hagia Pash.
Or is Pash the same as it is in Australian? It's kissing.
I don't think it's that. No.
I don't know.
And this phrase is often used to tell an impatient person to take their time. Literally, hold your patience. Another Geordie phrase meaning the same thing is had your watter.
Gibraltar.
Would you like to hear a usage?
Oh, I'd love to hear a usage. Would you like to hear a usage? Yes.
How man, had your pash, divin be a worky ticket. And then finally, my favourite one is wazzock.
That's just an idiot.
Similar to Doylem describing an imbecile or a fool. Would you like to hear a usage?
Oh, absolutely.
That gadget. That gadget is a proper wazzock.
It's as if Alan Shearer was in the room.
Okay, that ends the quiz.
Yes. Oh, that was enlightening. Thank you.
That was very welcome. What is a gadgie? We start with Gazzy, is it? Geezer.
Gadge, just a bloke guy. And Raj is getting angry or uppity, so it could be a Raj Gadge.
Gadgie. A person who is poorly educated engages in hooliganism, petty criminality, or loutish behaviour.
Wow.
Okay, that's it. I think we're good for today. Are we good?
I think so. So, everybody, please give us a like and a subscribe. Of course, you don't need to do that because you've already done it, haven't you? And we will see you to see off Mr. Sam Fender next episode. Very well.
Bye-bye.